Hi, I'm Jared, and what if I told you there's a widespread disease that almost half of Americans have, and most people don't know they have until they get it? And it's a fairly dangerous disease, as it is the cause of over 30% of death across the world. I will explain what cardiovascular disease is, its causes, its harms, and what it is like for those with the disease. So first off, what is cardiovascular disease and how does it harm people? Cardiovascular disease is a disease affecting the heart and blood vessels. It can pertain to conditions that restrict blood flow to the heart, the brain, and limbs. It can result in heart attack or stroke. Cardiovascular disease is an important disease to learn the cause of as it kills many people. Almost 18 million deaths is a large amount of dead, so understanding some of the causes is quite important. It's not just a large amount of people, it is a large percentage of all death that happens around the world, which is 30% of all death globally, and a total of 17.9 million who die every year. How many people are affected by cardiovascular disease? Almost half of Americans have cardiovascular disease, and that number affects even more people as that is not a record of how many people get it in their lifetime. Now that you know what cardiovascular disease is, you are probably wondering what causes cardiovascular disease. There isn't an exact factor for cardiovascular disease. It's more about the risk factors. For example, excessive intake of alcohol it has the effect of causing liver failure, while cardiovascular disease is more risk factors that increase your percentage. So the risk factors. There are many risk factors for cardiovascular disease, so it's a very complicated picture. The main ones are high blood pressure, which is a record of the pressure in your blood. Smoking, which is self-explanatory. High cholesterol, which comes from an overconsumption of foods high in cholesterol. Diabetes, which is an illness which comes from an impaired ability to produce or respond to insulin. Inactivity, which means lack of exercise. Being overweight, which comes from having a body weight outside of the healthy ranges. And family history, which just is if genetic relatives have had the condition or not. Now, on to reducing risk factors. Just like risk factors, your risk of cardiovascular disease can be lowered by doing some things like quitting smoking, having a balanced diet by reducing consumption of saturated fat, salt, and sugar, eating fruits and vegetables, eating plenty of fiber, increasing exercise, maintaining a healthy weight by not weighing too little or too much, reducing alcohol consumption, and taking medication which helps fight cardiovascular disease. Now that you know how to reduce it, you're probably wondering, is it worth doing all that effort to prevent the symptoms? So I will explain the effects so you can make an informed decision on if reducing the risks of cardiovascular disease is worth it for you. The effects of cardiovascular disease have two major ones, stroke and heart attack. Stroke can be an effect of cardiovascular disease. Stroke can cause death, inability to use parts of your body, hospitalization, and other debilitating disabilities due to damage of the brain. There are many people who, if not outright dying from stroke, are unable to walk, struggle to eat, and are no longer able to drive. Strokes can be very invasive to extremely detrimental to people's life and quality of life. Heart attacks can be an effect of cardiovascular disease as well. Heart attacks can cause death, hospitalization, and a disability which can cause surgery to live. Now, in some cases, people are okay and walk away fine from a heart attack. Other cases, people don't wake up at all, or they'll have a horrible disability that significantly hampers their quality of life and will never live the same life again. Now those are the two effects. But cardiovascular disease can dramatically change what someone's life is like. Living with cardiovascular disease is quite challenging and may dramatically worsen those who have the illness. the sufferers often have frequent doctor visits, may require surgery if their illness progresses, require substantial lifestyle changes to continue their life, are unable to work, unable to drive, and may be limited in things they can do such as travel. It dramatically changes people's plans for their life, such as will they have children? Their partners realize their life will be shorter. They may lose income from their work. They may have to spend lots more money on hospital bills. Cardiovascular disease can dramatically change what your life is like and set aside so many of your goals and dreams. Now that you've listened to my speech, I hope you have a better understanding of cardiovascular disease. As I have explained what cardiovascular disease is, its causes, and its harms to those with the disease. We have covered what the disease is, its causes, ways to reduce risks, its harm, and how life can be changed for those with the disease. I hope you have a better understanding of cardiovascular disease, and this is a good step into you making an informed decision about your health.